Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wait for the football gods. Wake up, guys. Wake up. That coffee tastes good this morning. How are you guys feeling today? How are you feeling this morning? I've been waiting to hear from the masses of Eagle fans that have been here for the last year. I've been waiting, but all I seem to get today is yeah, I guess we're going to have a light day today because, you know, Eagle trolls have to be 30% of my audience that have been here telling us how much the Cowboys suck. You're right. But I told you guys, do not lose. Do not lose, because I would call you frauds. You're frauds. You are frauds. But I'm going to say this philosophy. Let me give you a great philosopher's take. Great philosopher. He said, if you're going to talk the talk, then walk the walk. When the Cowboys lost to the 49ers, I was here. When the Cowboys lost to the Eagles with Cooper Rush, I was here. I took all of that crap. I have heard for weeks, how great you Eagles are, how good you are built. That we're not frauds. We're a great team. You play the teams that are in front of you. We're great. And I said, well, how come you lost to the Cowboys with Dak Prescott? Oh, because, we had Gardner Minshew. I said, I didn't realize Gardner Minshew played on the defense. My quarterback put a 40 burger on you. Okay. I am not going to dispute that the Eagles have a great team, because they did. And congratulations, like you guys are right. You play the teams that are in front of you, and you do what you have to do to get there, and you got there. Cowboys, we haven't been there. We have not been there. And that's where we need to start focusing on how we get our ass there. But I believe what killed you is actually karma. It was actually karma. Because here's my thing here. You got what you want. You are in the Super Bowl. You were about to play the biggest game in sports. And somehow, y'all's focus is hating on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, whether you like Dak as a football player or you despise him because he's got an 8-3 record against you, you got to recognize being man of the year is beyond what you do on the football field. That is what you do with your platform for good for others. And I dare say the work that he does with mental health, some of y'all could use that today. Y'all could definitely use that. See, this is where Eagles, you got this thing of being these hate mongers. There was no need to boo Dak. Listen. You got to boo the man of the year? Seriously? I'm telling you, It's karma. It is karma. And if that wasn't enough, here's where I can't believe that they overturned that pass down there, down on the sidelines there, that they overturned that pass. That would have been, first down on the 15-yard line. You guys get a touchdown here. You guys get a touchdown right there before the half and make it 28-14. It's over. That looked like a catch. It looked like a catch. But it wasn't. And here's what your coach is doing. Like a little punk-ass biatch. You're a head coach in the NFL. You are a head coach in the NFL, and you're giving the other team the finger? That's when the football gods, I think, said, enough is enough. And this game turned. This game turned. You ended up with only a field goal, in which case Kansas City, which is the second half team, came through and jacked you up. Karma is a thing. Karma is a thing. Now, I don't expect to see Eagle fans. I don't expect to see Eagle fans at all. But we need to start now focusing in on what we're going to do. Here's an interesting thing. ESPN already has out their way too early poll. And let's just go through this real quick. This is always funny to me because they never take into consideration that half the teams that make the playoffs one year won't make it the next year, including last year, the Super Bowl champion. The Super Bowl champion last year didn't make 500. Did not. A lot of teams, the Green Bay Packers, the number one seed, the Tennessee Titans, number one seed in the AFC, they didn't make the playoffs. There's always turnover, but they never put that into the equation. So, of course, the Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, number one. Philadelphia Eagles, they've got number two. And let me read real quick what they say about the Eagles. The Eagles have a number of notable free agents, including Miles Sanders, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, James Bradbury, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. Complicating matters is that Jalen Hurts is eligible for a contract extension, and they'll have to set a big chunk of money aside to lock Hurts in the long term, and we'll have some to get some quality players to walk. San Francisco, of course. We won't go. Cincinnati, Buffalo Bills, and then we get to the Cowboys. Now, this is the same. It's the same old song. This was the case in 2022 as well, but now Mike McCarthy enters a season in which he will call plays. Okay, they're already talking about pressure on Mike McCarthy. He will have to retool the offensive staff and potential changes in personnel on that side of the ball. He has won 24 games in the past two seasons and took the Cowboys a step further in the 2022 playoffs. But heading to the second to last year of his contract, McCarthy will have to have his best season, and that will work starts his offseason. So wait a minute. You've had 12 win seasons back to back. You've been in the playoffs 2 or 3 years, and now you're under pressure? Oh, okay. I got it. But in all actuality, the person that really should be under pressure should be, and they won't be, is Jerry and Stephen Jones. Say what you will about the Eagles choking in this game. The Eagles, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs, even the Buffalo Bills, those teams show you what you have to do to be there. You got to have talent. You have to have playmakers. Nobody thought beginning of the season when Kansas City let go Tyreek Hill that Juju Smith-Schuster would be one of the heroes in the Super Bowl. Nobody thought that. But that's where teams are turning over every rock. They're understanding we have to have better talent. We have to have a great offensive line to protect our quarterback when he's on one leg. We have to have young, fast running backs that can get outside on the edge. We have to make sure that we get every yard on plays by not doing comebacks and curls and stop routes, by getting the ball in hands of guys that are quick, going upfield, finding soft spots in the defense to hit guys, using your tight end as a great weapon, using motion, using all of these tools available to it. Let's be clear here. You can point at Dak Prescott and say he's a failure, but you then also need to point then at Josh Allen and say he's a failure. He's got weapons galore. He wasn't there yesterday. You have to have a good quarterback or a great quarterback, but that alone is not enough. If the Cowboys do the same old song, we're looking for value. I do not want to hear Stephen Jones say we're looking for value. Value my ass. I buy a lot of tools. And one thing I've learned about buying tools is don't look for value. Don't look for a special purchase. I remember when I bought a laser level in 2003 or 2004. It's one of the first ones that DeWalt came out with. Pretty big size one. Cost me $1,000, which was, it's a lot. There were ones that were cheaper. But do you know, 20 years later, that laser level is as good as the day I bought it. I have drills that I've had that long. Cordless ones. They don't even make the batteries for those anymore. Some of those batteries still work. You get what you pay for. You can't go through and think, I can build a football team on value without having some guys that can step up. See, here's the problem for the Cowboys. We get some really great players like Micah Parsons. We got a D-Law. You have a Tyron Smith. The problem is not those starting guys, and this goes throughout the 2000s. We have a couple of guys that are making a lot of money, the lion's share. The problem is when those guys get hurt, because they're making that lion's share, the ones you have down here, those value picks, those guys that have to play valuable minutes, they're not good. So one or two injuries can derail a season. These teams, they understand that. The Eagles, they had a great front. They got a lot of great guys. They go out and say, that's not enough. We're going to get Hassan Reddick. They said, you know what? We need more weapons to support our quarterback, A.J. Brown. They take care of their offensive line to protect the quarterback and the investment. These are things that the Cowboys, we don't see that as the right way to build a team. That's the lesson that we need to take away, that Jerry Jones needs to look at. The 4 divisional round teams, conference championship teams, are all teams that were players in free agency. Some did better than others, but every single one of those teams all have a multitude of weapons. All have some of the best receivers in football. All of them have a strong running game. All of them have a great offensive line. All of them have a great defense. There are no value pick teams that were in the conference championships. There weren't. So either you're going to be a player and get in there in the game, or we'll just be like we are here. Good enough to make a boatload of money for Jerry Jones, but not good enough to get anywhere close to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I'm going to trash the Eagles. That's all we have as Cowboy fans. That's all we got. Until Jerry Jones steps up. Now, one final note on the day. Here is how things aren't equal. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys can win games like we did against the Eagles. We beat the Eagles. The only thing they focused on was Dak Prescott's pick six, but we won the game. Let's see how they treat the game-changing fumble that if that fumble doesn't happen, I don't believe Kansas City wins. Let's see how they treat Jalen Hurts.
I think those are important words from the
5-yard punt return. It's Mahomes.
Yeah. Could you imagine? I'm sorry. Forgive me for enjoying the saltiness of the Eagles and listening to the comments of the one. Shout out to the Eagle fans that actually have come in and things. You know, if you had won, don't deny it. If the Eagles had won, you would have been in here just throwing it in my face. Don't act like we're classless. You're the guys that booed the Man of the Year. Your coach is the guy who's flicking off the other team. Don't act like you guys are innocent because you're not. But we all know if that was Dak Prescott and they lost and Dak had a fumble or an interception, they would be turning around and blaming and not kissing Jalen Hurts' ass like they're doing right now. Let's be honest here. Put away your fan gear and everything else and just look at it. And that's the truth. The Cowboys, for whatever reason, well, we know the reason, because it gets paid. It gets views for them. So here we are. It's the offseason for everybody. And it's time to start building right now. There is no time to wait. We are 8 days away from franchise tagging. We are less than a month away of having to be under the salary cap. We are less than a month away from free agency. We are legal tampering is a month exactly, the 13th. We are 1 month away. We are 3 weeks away from the combine. Next year's Super Bowl starts now. And what you going to do about it, Jerry Jones? All right, so, we'll enjoy this for a little bit, the Eagles' misery, and be thankful that that we don't have to listen to those loudmouths bragging about another Super Bowl. But I'll be honest with you. I need my team to get there. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jerry, time is getting short. We're all getting older. The blueprints are here. We know what you have to do. You have the core group of guys. Just like Micah Parsons says, go out and get a Deron Payne, like CeeDee Lamb. Dak's our quarterback. We need more weapons. Trayvon Diggs, get my brother. You have to do something more than what you've done over the last 27 years. You got to get creative. You got to get the players. I'm Mark Holmes, and, well, I'm just going to sit here for a bit, sipping on my coffee. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing.